Hello, everyone. It's Veronica Bartolini with Codebreaker Real Talk. And once again, we have Corey Miceli with us on today. Yes. And so, Corey, how you been? What's up?
Just living life full speed, the only way I was meant to do it. Hey, you want to point this out to you? This is the original Ernie Franz, Frantz. I encourage people listening to look him up. Just Google Ernie Franz, Frantz. Like one of the original, like he was a strength coach before there was the word strength coach. Like one of the original, like first powerlifting world champions, and went on to be like an absolutely legendary. I mean, coach is really an understatement. Just like a father figure and mentor to people all over the freaking, like, the plane in which we live, every continent, every country. The guy was just an absolute 100% helper of his fellow man. He made a deal when he was, I believe, when he was in the Korean War. He's very young, maybe 17 or 18. Somebody lied about his age to go fight in the war. And there was a night when he thought he was certainly a goner, and he just made the pledge: if you pull me out of this, I promise I'll do good for people the rest of my life. Then he got back. He shared this with me towards the end of his life. I knew him since I was 18, 19 years old, and he just shared this with me, a couple of years before he passed away. So anyway, he didn't necessarily hold up his end of that bargain the first few years, and he got out of the military. And he thought to himself, he's like, "Oh yeah, I made that deal." So once he started living up to that deal he made, his life really took form. He started the World Powerlifting Congress, the American Powerlifting Federation. He was I don't know. This, if you Google him, you'll see what I mean. He started a very awesome, I don't know what you call it, a powerlifting program at State Mill Prison in Illinois, and it was really to give the guys something to really live for and teach them discipline and teamwork and camaraderie. And it was really, really successful. He has a book, The 10 Commandments of Powerlifting. I suggest people go look it up. It's really fascinating. So anyway, I happen to have the shirt on, so I'm just giving a shout out to Ernie Franz, Franz Nation.
That's so awesome. My heart goes out to him whatever dimension he is in right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
How did you meet him, by the way?
Well, I was from Aurora, Illinois, and Ernie was also from Aurora, Illinois. He just had it was kind of internationally famous and locally infamous, if you will. It was kind of a mysterious training center. And there were guys up, setting world records, and people flying in from Russia. And it was but it was powerlifting. So especially when I was growing up in the 80s and early 90s, it was still more of a fringe activity. It was not that mainstream. But of course, me and some other athletes were just intrigued with what was going on down there. So we just showed up one Saturday, and it became a big, big part of our lives.
That is so awesome. I will definitely look him up. I mean, he sounds very familiar, and I also have I mentioned the last time, encyclopedia book of Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's my cheat book. That's my go-to. It's this thick, and I never run out of ideas. And I don't know if I mentioned before, but my father was he was a power lifter too, but it was he did it more at home. And he had all these magazines around him all the time, females and males. I was born in 71, so he would give me the raw eggs to drink when it was 5 in the morning, because I was always the first one up. And so he had me do calisthenics. And he said, if you want to have big arms like Popeye, you got to eat your spinach. So we would watch Popeye together, the Chinese, all the Bruce Lee movies. You name it, the Roman movies, all kinds of stuff. My dad was he was really gung-ho. So I think subconsciously, maybe it's a tribute to him for me to keep working out and not giving up. I love him so much wherever he is, and he keeps encouraging me, so my heart goes out to all the powerlifters, bodybuilders, anybody who's out there trying to make a better mind, heart, soul, body.
Energy.
Huh?
Yeah, energy. It all ties into the energetic part too. It really does. Well, one thing I'll mention, I just want to mention this too. There's still some kind of ideology or thought out there that being strong like is a detrimental to being really fast. And if, look, Ernie Franz was also one of the best speed coaches ever. Also, he would like not because remember, it takes a lot of power. Power equals speed, really, and it takes a lot of strength to create a lot of power. So, long story short, Ernie taught us how to be incredibly fast too. We were not only the strongest athletes in the nation, we were the fastest athletes in the nation too, especially considering our size. Like, for example, if these numbers mean anything to people, like my brother in arms, Paul Wise, he got him to run at a 265-pound body weight, a 10.5 100-meter dash, like fully laser time, which is like just mind-boggling if anybody out there knows what times mean. So, infusing it all, your mindset, your energy, your speed, your strength, your coordination, those are all like, they all kind of are integrated, if you will. So really, training the multi-dimensions of our like physical environment is like completely related to the other dimensions that we don't see as well.
I totally agree, because whenever I decide to go run, and either I sprint or I do, my runs, it is a mindset, like you said, and it's like a powerful thing. Like, you just go and do it. You don't even, how do you say, it's just about making up your mind, doing it, and you've already been training, whether at the gym and outside too, because we need both combinations. I always tell people, don't just stay stuck at the gym. You got to go outside, because there's an example someone gave me. There's plants, when they are grown in LED situations, and then they put the plants outside, they shrivel up because they're not used to the sun. They're used to the fake LED lights. So I always tell people, go both to the gym and go outside, because we do need our sun DNA codes. We get messages through our DNA from the sun.
Oh yeah.
And that's actually what I did this morning, because we talked before, and I had not been feeling good for like 4 days because this darn migraines, the what I call DEW, the energy weapons that they send to me and other people, because when 1991, when I was in the Army, they gave me the anthrax mixed with the Quaalude, and it's called the 5-in-1 shot. So pretty much when the US was buddy buddies with Saddam Hussein, then the US sold the anthrax, but then they supposedly went to war for the gold bars, we'll just say that, power, because Saddam was coming into power a lot. And to make a long story short, so they had to inject us soldiers with the anthrax to be able to track us through our spine. Pretty much, it's like a neon color that through the LIDAR, LIDAR, yeah. They're able to track the soldiers. So a lot of my brothers in arms came back with testicular cancer, migraine. I had cervical cancer, things like that. So it affects the spine. And as everyone knows, I had the lumbar done. Now I have to get the neck done. But, we just got to keep going. Like, nothing's going to stop me. Nothing's going to break me.
Well, you might find this interesting. I don't have any like detail behind it other than this firsthand account from my younger cousin who served. He was like one of the last, really one of the final troops to come out of Iraq, whatever that year. I don't remember the year exactly. But long story short, right before they got there, they took this big injection before they jumped in their whatever plane takes them over there. And like maybe a month into it, they all realized, you notice you don't have to sleep at all? And like whatever they jacked these guys up on, they were just like 24/7 on point.
I hardly sleep.
And then when they got like in the first year after he got home, I forget the exact number, but it was an astonishing number of his like friends that had committed suicide within like 6 or 8 months of being home. He had like a dozen friends commit suicide. It was pretty crazy.
It's called the Omega Project. What they do to us, they don't want us to remember, not only they don't want us to remember the missions in the military here in the 3D, as we say it, but they don't want us to remember the stuff that we went through in the jump rooms in space and here as well, again, as children, all the torture that they had to do. So it's tough. I went through that too. You know, everybody knows my story. I was dead for 3 days and in the hospital for a month and a half, and it's horrible. All I kept thinking was, I gotta kill myself. And it's a lie. It's a lie. It's called the Omega Project. What it is we'll just say it's a switch in your brain or wherever the implants are, because I have them all over the place, but generally it's in your brain here by where the subconscious, the lower part of your head communicates with the pineal gland. So when the pineal gland is calcified and these weapons are being sent to you, when you know you keep hearing these things like you're not good, you got to end it, it's like no. So it's not easy. I have a really hard time with society. I stay away from people as much as I can physically because it's too much. Like I can read their thoughts, I can feel their energy. And so I just either go out there, you know, work out, do my jogs, my runs, whatever, or go to the gym and then stay home. Yes, do all the stuff that I promised to do online, like Franz, like Mr. Ernie Franz, like
Yeah.
in life also is to help. So, and I know yours is too. So let's get to, I want to find out how you got into the music industry and how you help these young rappers with Encore Radio and Empire Radio and the iHeart Radio, and how you started with the music, and then also how is it that you incorporated, which I think is really awesome, the squat life as well. So
well, let me back up a little bit with my D1 business that I started back in '97. I worked with a lot of real high performing athletes, and just one of the young men that I mentored and got into the training world, Joey Glore, had an opportunity to be, I think I may have told you a little bit about this, but long story short, he became one of the top celebrity trainers, not just the nation, in the entire world. So that kind of gave me a glimpse into the entertainment side of the fitness world, if you will. He was he went on to be on a couple different reality shows, and he was on, featured, was the #1 trainer on the MTV series I Used to Be Fat. So just kind of got an inside glimpse into that world through Joey Glore's career. Then I had another friend / client named Craig Foster, who started a reality television show. So that just kind of gave me an understanding into how, more on the television side, how it works, but it's, somewhat similar to the music side. So flash forward a few years, I just ended up meeting a young artist named Rezzy Rez. Shout out Rezzy Rez. If you want to look him up, go on YouTube, REZZY, REZ, Never Scared. His music will come right up. But anyway, I had a chance to develop a good relationship with him, and just met through that relationship, met another gentleman named Steven Ragsdale, who was the CEO of Loud Money Music, and they're an A&R of Sony Music. I don't know, let's just keep it simple. I met a gentleman named Steve Ragsdale, who's the CEO of Loud Money Music and Rise Entertainment. There were some artists, up and coming artist feature nights that I took some young artists that I knew to perform. Formed a good friendship with Steven Ragsdale, and he invited me into his whole enterprise, which is Rise Management and Loud Money Music. So for whatever reason, I just kept running into people that either are producers, make music, make videos, write lyrics, etc. I don't really have an exact answer for you, other than it's part of my life's mission and life's purpose. I now have a network of hundreds of people in the industry, and it's just what we do. So what we have going on right now is we're sponsoring a big event next weekend, June 17th through 19th, Summer Smash Music Festival, where we're really doing a lot of promotion for the artists we work with, selling our merch, just spreading positivity and networking and having an awesome time. Summer Smash Music Festival, June 17th through 19th, Douglas Park in Chicago. If you just Google Summer Smash 2022, you'll see what I mean. It's a mega event. There'll be like 100 plus thousand people there over 3 days. It's going to be really, really powerful. We're also putting a series of events together that do integrate entertainment, positive music, positive messages, athletics, and fitness, leading up to a whole new style of festival where it kind of like brings all those energies together for an event that's really, really powerful.
So thank you for that, Corey. So you help young upcoming also rappers
Absolutely. You can look at me like an energy coach. Like you might want to formally call it branding, but we work with these young artists to really talk about how to consistently like package their message into their natural conversation, the interviews they might have. The music they make is the music they make. I don't have very little influence over that. Maybe some in a specific instance, but let me give you an example. There's a young artist named Cache. If you want to YouTube her, it's Cache World, Kashe World. Check it out. So anyway, I basically consider what I am as an energy and branding coach for these young artists also. So I really don't have anything to do directly with the music they make, but how to present themselves on stage and how to deliver a consistent, precise message during their interviews. I don't always follow my own advice, but the advice I give these kids is really, really good and powerful. And it just really helps them create their brand, give a consistent message so people see what the personality behind the music is.
Now, thank you, Corey. I've seen you.
This is probably important to message. This is, if there's anyone out there in the music world that does not have to be rap or hip hop, there really is a very important, nowadays especially, making great music is really just like the bare minimum thing you have to have. You have to make great music, but the way the technology, the social media platforms are today, it's very, very important that these young artists that really has ambition in this music world to actually make it a career has some guidance. That's what Rise Management does. It like shows young artists like how to position themselves to actually be successful, because there's a bunch of great music out there that people may or may not have heard. And what our management company does is get the artists in front of people that are important to hear, get them on the correct platforms, things of that nature. So that's what Rise Management does. It really helps these artists get in position to be highly successful.
I like that. It reminds me when, so I've been playing my violin since I was in 4th grade. So they would always push me in the front of the stage. I played with Vicky Carr, Mariachi Cobre. They would always push me, and you kind of get used to it. You're like, they push you so much that they help you in a good way. And
right.
It's just awesome. I'm glad that you do that for younger kids too, because that's so important nowadays, especially. So do you help people, say people that are doing like what they call beats now, like with no lyrics?
I've got some people, my young gentleman from my hometown, Aurora, Illinois, goes by the name Five Sack. I'll send you some of his beats. They are awesome. They really, really are. So yes, we've got producers, beat makers. I've got my buddy Wartime. I originally met coaching through powerlifting, but he's a phenomenal beat maker out of New York City. I'd sit here, if I went through my like contact list, I could literally spend the entire interview just talking about different beat makers, producers, like managers and artists. So the network that somehow all of a sudden I'm a part of is like vast. It's really big. Some very, very, very talented people in each aspect of the industry.
That's awesome.
Let me give a shout to Flight Risk Clevo also. His message is really powerful as well. He had kind of a pretty rough life. He had to serve some hard time, and once he got out and got that behind him, his mission is to make music to motivate younger kids in the street to like keep their heads straight and move forward and stay out of the trials and tribulations that he had to go through. Flight Risk Clevo. If you want to look up something, look up Flight Risk Clevo, nothing, and take it from there. Phenomenal artist. We got some stuff in the works to get his music going big time. He does have like one song out there with like 500,000 views on YouTube already. And his music, if you like the old school sound and you don't like, he talks negatively about women, doesn't glorify anything that's like banned in the streets, talks about it, very like, reflective about it. The music is, I would say, pretty hardcore, great beats, great message, and it's like a different style because it's got like a real, like, very powerful vibration of like moving forward and getting out of a dark place to it too. So Flight Risk Clevo, nothing, Google it, YouTube it, take it from there.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Corey. When I was in junior high, I would write my own lyrics and I would do like beatboxing. And so I taught my kids just being silly, like, you know, how the old,
Oh yeah.
old
Oh yeah.
stuff. And the reason why I asked you if you do beats is because my son has a few beats on SoundCloud, and he's also a power lifter. So I don't know, I might just send him your way.
Definitely send them our way. 100%.
Yeah. So this, I wanted to ask you, how can people contribute, whether it be time or money, to your concert that you're giving out, and how can people help, and where?
My phone number is the best way, and we can like have a bit of a dialogue or conversation about it. My phone number is 360-939-7652. I'll say it again, 360-939-7652. There's an artist listening, or a friend of an artist, or someone that does want to get involved in, anyway, whether it's financial or just spreading the word or learning more about what we do, just please text me or give me a call. Be more than happy to have a legit conversation with anybody about it anytime. It's what I do.
That sounds good. When I put up this video, because I'm going to put it up on YouTube, I would like for you, if you don't mind, sending me like the apps for, like, say, if you have PayPal or Cash App, whatever it goes into this fund, let me know so I can post it for you.
Okay, I'll do that.
There are some questions about, like, okay, how young are these kids and are they protected, with the things going on with, the whole Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, I'm not just cut straight to the issue. I mean, we call it the gangs, clubs, and whatever you want to, the gang influence, or the gang world in the music world are like definitely integrated to a point. And there's a big misunderstanding out there about what a lot of gang members stand for. A lot of it's really just like, whether you believe it or not, a lot of it really is just like a family tie. Not all gangbangers are out there like hurting people and doing really bad things. It's more, and a big part of it's a network and a social environment. So I don't know if that's what you're alluding to or not, but it's really about keeping your head on straight and doing good will follow. There's always like things that happen in life that are unexpected. You might question why they happen, but I think if you take a look at the artists we work with, they've got, a lot of them have been through their trials and tribulations. Let me give a shout out to 773 Juan, also another young artist from Chicago. Very, very powerful message. 773 Juan, look him up. He's got a very, very powerful story. We worked together on some. Matter of fact, I'm going to text you a link to an interview that we did together. I think you'll really like it. So, long story short, we all choose the path we're walking down, each and every step that we take. So, the decisions we make have a lot to do with the reactions that happen based on what we do. Does that make sense at all or not? So, my guy, Flight Risk, has a lie. When you lose someone close, when someone close to you dies, you got an angel in the sky. So take it from there.
Yeah, I can still communicate with the loved ones that have passed on. So I totally get that.
Right. Now, again, if people that are really attuned with the high level world of entertainment, there is a kind of a negative energy influence that flows through it. If you look at some of the famous artists over the years that have been murdered, I don't know all the detail behind what happened, but this it's kind of like deals that have gone south type thing. So making sure you keep your head on straight and do the best you can to keep your deals upright and forward, and like really manifesting good for others.
Yes, I totally agree with that. There's a lot of Mexican actors too that they get involved with the cartels, or they, because they become famous or whatever, then they want money from the family. So, I was just kind of asking about, like, with all these programs that are now being talked about, not just the, the sex kitten program, the abductions by the agencies and things like that. There's a lot of actors that have been coming out and saying, this happened to me, that happened to me. This handler was supposed to help me with the, we'll say, movie industry, music industry, and it didn't, and it went sour. So what I was asking, do you guys protect your, well, obviously you're going to protect investment, right? But the youth, what kind of things do you do?
Honestly, it's just about, we really try to keep our affiliation positive and like, family oriented is really the main thing we do. We when we go places, we roll as a unit, but we spread positivity and love, and we're welcome to all types of people. So really, we don't, it's not like we're very aggressive in the way we protect each other, but we're out there, we're leading by example, leading with love, and we welcome people in. And when you see us in person at an event or a concert we're doing, and the group of people that we are, it's all about networking and like just putting all the negative things behind you and beneath you, and like stepping forward and standing in those upper echelon vibrations, if you will. So that's really the main focus of how we roll. It really truly is.
I like that. And then you guys are all pretty big power lifters, so it's like, you guys are like the bouncers too, right? security.
Yeah, we got. I mean, to a point, what you're saying, absolutely. But it's very rare we encounter like a lot of beef. Like I think I may have shared with you earlier, this has nothing to do with the music world, just a personal experience. I think I told you last Saturday, stopped at a gas station, saw a young man running up on an older gentleman. He was getting ready to I've been around no violence. I know when it's getting ready to happen. He's ready to knock this guy's teeth out. So at the last moment, I just give a big bark, hey, stop. And the dude stopped in his tracks. I just 20 years ago, what would I have done? Maybe I wouldn't have handled it as cool. I don't know. But I just try to talk sense into him. Is this really something you want to do? The rest of your night's going to change big time. Probably not for the better if you follow through with this, man. So it was this kind of a lot of times keeping the peace and bringing people back down is more just bringing sudden and quick attention to the ramifications that could happen, and keeping your cool while doing it too. Because if you let that negative energy suck you to a negative place, then it's just kind of a domino effect of downhill from there. Right. So it's being assertive, being strong, being bold, and at the same time, keeping that vibration high when you're handling a situation like that.
Heck yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of something that Dolores Cannon said. I listened to some of her stuff since 2016. And the other day someone sent me saying, she was saying we're all creators, right? So yeah. It says that there should be two things that should not happen when you're creating is when you create that it's not going to hurt somebody, and that number two, it doesn't take away from people. So I have to agree with that. As long as we all get along and everybody's being edified, because we're all important in this life. All species, all plants, our animals, are all humans, no matter what color we are, we're all very important.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm just thinking of another scenario I dealt with of how important how my younger brother Scotty talks about spirit sniping is what he calls it. Anything that when you feel something attacking your energy, pulling it downward, being I guess these were disciplined or aware enough to nip it in the bud and getting your position back up high. Even if you're around people that are really in a downward cycle of their energy, somehow getting your mind to the point where you can stay in that upper vibration of gratitude and joy and courage and being anchored in truth. Probably comes with experience and putting it into practice. But I'm telling you, it's so important to, back to your original question of protecting people, staying in that high vibration mode when things around you are kind of crumbling. It can reverse the mode pretty quickly as long as you can stay in there.
Yes, and distractions are very important. Good distractions, we'll say. When I'm being attacked by these energy weapons, I will take time and lay down and take care of myself, and I will make, because I make junk journals, I make books, I make I paint bottles, I do whatever it takes for me to be creative while I'm at the same time taking care of myself so that I can go back to work out or outside. I know it's anywhere from 3 to 5 days when I can't do anything, but it's okay because I know that I'm going to keep my mind busy as much as I can, especially when anxiety hits. Mainly that's why I do this.
Yeah.
Because the thoughts come. Why am I still here? I'm so alone. People, blah, blah, blah. All these negative thoughts come, and then I have to send them back because those negative thought forms come like mirrors. So I tell people when I counsel them, I say, refract them back and send them back and put the mirrors facing them, whoever sent it, and put it all around, right? But the mirror facing that way, this way, below you, behind you, because put yourself in that bubble. It's like protection. It's not going to get you. Everything works like a hive mind, whether it's a positive thing or negative thing, right? Like the bees, right? They work for the queen. Okay, so what's the message from the queen to the bees? Okay, well then one bee is going to tell the other bee, and as soon as before you know it, it's a whole army that the queen bee has. So people also work like the hive mind, like they also call it the 1,000 or 100 monkey effect, whatever. There was a story about these monkeys that were given squash, and one monkey all of a sudden started just washing in the water, and then before you know it, the whole village was washing the squash before they eat it. Later on, years later on, there's another community of monkeys that have never, you know what I mean? So it's like the 100th monkey effect or something like that. We have to be careful what we listen to, who we listen to. Where is that thought form coming from? Is it coming from trauma? Is it coming from loneliness? Is it because you're hungry? There's this thing that I teach also. It's HALT. Are you hungry, angry, lonely, or tired?
Okay.
And that seems to help too. So.
Yeah, most definitely. Like when I say the phrase level up, what does that mean to you?
When you say level up?
Yeah.
That means I'm going to level up to the real me. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I always say, I know it's a cliche. It could be a program, but be all you can be, baby. Just like the Army says, I always say that to myself. Always. I don't care if it's a program or what. Since I was a little kid, I used to watch the TV and say, I would see the Army people. It's like, I'm going to be a soldier. I tell my mom, she's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, yes, I am. Because I'm going to be all that I could be. And I have a heart chalkboard, and I write down there, and every day I see it, I write down, today I did my best, so I deserve to rest. I am grateful and thankful. Every day we level up. That to me means I'm going to stay in gratitude. Like you say, I'm going to stay positive for me.
There you go.
I'm not positive. How am I going to help the community? Am I going to sit there and let the people take my loosh? No, I have to go above that. I'm not saying better than them. Heck no. I'm not doing that. I'm not judging. No, because one day I could be high and the other day I could be low, but what's the trick? Like Michael Jackson says, too high to get over. Yeah. Too low to get under. Yeah. You're stuck in the middle. Why are you stuck in the middle? Because that's the right way. The middle path. You can't be too much to the left, too much to the right. I was thinking about that song the other day.
So yeah, just anybody out there listening, just keep leveling up. Get to that next level of power. Get to that next level of high vibration. You may fall down, but get the level right back up. Just keep climbing, keep climbing no matter what.
Oh yeah.
It's so important.
It helps me when I look in the mirror and I say, I got you, babe. I got you. Like I got me, I am. And then I say, I am. And then I say, I am stronger. I am faster. I'm coming back. I'm hitting harder. And
right.
Me.
I am two most powerful words out there. I am, whatever you want to put behind it is powerful. I am whatever you want to say is true.
It is. And that helps a lot. So what would you like to also leave our friends with here? Because I know we're going to be doing more videos, but today we decided to do a promotional video for your group there and to motivate other upcoming artists that I know after this video, they're going to be contacting you, Corey. So
Contact me. Get number 360-939-7652. I'm sitting right in front of the sign that says, don't stop until you're proud. So that, I mean, I just like to leave people that message. Don't stop until you're proud. And my soul brother, Paul, you had some other term for him, whatever it is, being like a simultaneous download of certain people out there are only built to live a full speed life. I'm not saying that's everybody. Some people do need more downtime and like Zen work and all this stuff, but there's certain people out there that you're wired to go fast. You're wired to go hard. You're wired to be full speed a lot of the time, and that's okay.
Yes.
8 hours of rest every night might be good for a lot of people.
I can't do that.
For me. It ain't good for me.
Yep.
What's good for me is going full tilt, full speed, directly, focused on a big goal and a big accomplishment, and helping people along the way, and like just plowing through the negativity, and like I said earlier, leveling up. And the sign right in front of me right now, don't stop until you're proud, I think is the right message to share with everybody, because we're all capable of like powerful, wonderful, amazing things. And it's kind of like this. You cast your vision into the future and work backwards from that. And things become a lot more seamless, if you will. If you really have,
actually do.
Think big.
I do, Corey.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. So put that vision of who you are meant to be, who you were born to be, who you can be into the future, and just like work backwards from there.
I love it. I love it, because that's what I do, Corey. And I also tell people, when you have a hard time remembering your dreams, stay in your bed, turn off your alarm, stay in your bed for a little bit and go backward. What is the last thing that you remember about that dream, and work yourself backward. And then also when you take a shower, water is a sentient being. You can always ask the water to help you with your goals, help you to remember things. When I'm going to say go full throttle, and
full
throttle. And when you went like this, it's to open like that, to not only part the seas, but in the military, we always say, make a hole. We're coming in, baby. We're coming in hot. We're coming in number one. We're going to come in hot. We're coming in and we're proud. Another thing I like to say is appreciate yourself and honor your soul. That's another way. So thank you, Corey Miceli, for being on again.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you more than you know.
See you later. I'll call you right now.
Okay, sounds good.